Do you know what time it is?
No, I don't have
It's
a watch.
time to talk about the Steven Universe movie. Obviously.
It'd be really hard to fit that onto a watch.
Well, I have my ways. And today is the day because, oh my god, they made a movie.
They made a movie, also known as a really long episode.
It was like it was more like just a whole arc in one
that's
long
kinda true.
episode.
It was like they took like Wes Stevenbaum and just sort of Frankensteined it into one giant
Pretty much,
movie
yeah.
instead of 4 different episodes. So
And of course, a million songs.
And of course, they gotta up the song quota for the movie. You got all this movie budget, you can't spend it on anything but songs.
Yep. So I'm just gonna lay all my cards on the table right off the bat here. I absolutely loved this movie. I was alright. So when I first saw the first trailer that came out a few months ago,
Right.
I was like, oh no, it's going to be terrible. Oh no, it looks awful. It had the villain character who was this weird rubber hose animation style, old school cartoon. I was like, well, that's a bit strange. It's just why is she like that? It just seems really random and weird. But there is a reason why she's like that, it turns out. So that's sort of explained. Okay, I'm comfortable with that now.
Okay, finally.
It just seemed really contrived, and it seemed it was the entire movie. And I was just thinking, how are they going to make an entire movie about fighting one villain that we've never met before, and that's just sort of random out of nowhere? And I thought they can't possibly make that good.
These are valid concerns.
And they can't possibly make that good. But they did, and it was amazing, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah. I went into the movie completely unspoiled, by the way, despite having watched the movie a week after it came out.
Impressive.
Yeah, because I'm good at not spoiling myself. The only part that I was spoiled about was the first 5 seconds of a trailer. I'm not sure which one. Which I immediately clicked off of when I realized it wasn't fake.
Clever.
But from that 5 seconds of the trailer, I did think, man, this has to be fake. Because, man, this seems really bad. And man...
I didn't see any of the trailers that came out just before the movie. But the trailers that came out a few months before, those were really bad.
Yeah, it seems like Steven Universe makes really bad trailers. But... luckily, it all worked out because it is actually a good movie.
Oh, I'm glad you think it's a good movie because I was afraid we were going to have an epic debate.
An epic debate. It could have been an epic debate, but unfortunately, it's actually a good movie, so it's hard to do that. But yeah, I sort of assumed it would be bad, mostly on the grounds that, it's a movie. And they haven't really, done that before. So I assumed that they'd mess it up somehow.
I mean, honestly, it just seemed okay, how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it?
It seemed like a stretch.
But they stretched all the way there, and it was glorious. They
stretched all the way there. That's true.
And it was a musical. Don't you know?
Yeah.
And that also made me go, but I figured they have songs pretty often in Steven Universe, and Mr. Greg is one of my favorite episodes.
I was about to say, Mr. Greg is the best episode.
But I was like, can they do that for an entire movie? Can that work? And the answer is yes.
And it turns out that they can actually do it. They just need to make more songs to fill the time, and then they can just do it.
Okay, so I don't think any of these songs are my new favorite Steven Universe song.
I mean, Other Friends is definitely my favorite
Other Friends
Steven Universe
is
song.
An absolute banger. But I can't say I did love it, but none of them are my absolute new favorite songs. I still like Stronger Than You, and It's Over, Isn't It? And
right, yeah.
All those ones that I love.
I'd say for me it's It's Over, Isn't It? And Other Friends are sort of competing for the top spot right now.
Because the two very different kinds of songs.
Oh yeah, definitely. But in terms of enjoyment, I mean,
yeah, Other Friends is an absolute banger.
Absolute rankings here.
Yeah, but yeah, and I mean, what I'm saying is, no individual song is my absolute favorite, but I really do just love the soundtrack as a whole.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because it all, I'm trying to think of a single song that really didn't fit. And, you know, some people don't like Sadie Killers and the Suspects.
Oh, well, those people are just bad. What?
I mean, and I can sort of understand they have a different sort of style from basically the entire rest of the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's
but, you know, it was alright.
They just don't get it.
They just don't get it.
These old fogies don't know how music works.
but
yeah. Whatever. They don't. So when the movie first starts, and you know they're singing the first song, that made me a little bit nervous because the first song I thought was a little bit cringe.
It was a little bit like, I don't know, but
it grew on me as the like, especially like the reprise at the end made me made me dislike the beginning part a lot less actually for some reason. But man, it's a little spicy bit of cringe just in there a little bit for me.
Come live with us in the palace. It's catchy though.
It is catchy.
It's surprisingly catchy.
It's surprisingly catchy. And like I said, it did grow on me. But the first time watching, I was a little bit. Oh, okay.
All right, here we go.
We're going full out.
I gotta say, the Diamonds are really good.
Yeah,
like I mean, awesome. I can't remember the names of the actresses, but they're good singers.
Yes,
It's pretty great.
Their names are white, yellow, and blue.
Yeah, I know that. But anyway, yeah. So just the beginning of this movie, it starts out.
So implies that it's not real because it's in a storybook.
Yeah, you know.
But you know, whatever.
That's besides the point. It's totally canon. It's
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I wish they didn't do that because they do like the curtains drawn at the beginning and the curtains drawn at the end thing and the it's a storybook thing. Not a big fan if it's not supposed to be not real because that's kind of like it's sort of like metaphorical shorthand for like, you know, it's like secretly a play or it's someone's dream or something like that.
I'm pretty sure it's canon.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm pretty sure it's canon too. So weird but you know, they probably just did it for effect.
It was kind of fun with all the curtains everywhere.
Whatever. I'd have maybe if I rewatched it, it would bother me less.
But anyway, opens up. We are like 2 or 3 years jumped forward. We were talking about what are they gonna do? Where are they gonna go with Steven Universe from here? Because like they've had basically 2 options. Either they go back to Earth and just things sort of go back to a weird status quo, except everything's more fine now.
Yeah.
Or we have we have a Steven Universe arc of space politics.
Yeah.
Those were the 2 options. And while we both love space politics and anything else as Isaac Asimov happens to write about, I think we can both agree that Steven Universe is not the place for this sort of story.
Yeah, I don't think Steven Universe is crying out for the arc where Steven becomes the space ambassador to the the alien race that I don't know are lodging their grievances in the High Court of Diamonds for like war crimes or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think this is the show for space politics. Probably not. So they skip over all the space politics that happens.
Yeah, that's the good part.
It's 2 or 3 years. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think it's 2.
2 years later, Steven has won all the space politics.
Yeah, because he was 14 in the series and now he's 16.
Right, now he's 16. So 2 years later, Steven has succeeded at basically...
Yeah, he's saved
the world. He's saved the galaxy.
He saved the universe.
Saved the whole...
I don't like how they say universe either, because, you know, they're probably not... I mean, as far as we know, are they multi-galactic? Have they been shown to be out of the gems? Been shown to have spread out of the Milky Way?
They seem to have like faster than light travel.
They do have faster than light travel, but that really only helps you within a galaxy. Well, it's faster. You have to be like super faster than light to get out of a galaxy or your local cluster. Look, this is all astronomy that is probably beyond Steven Universe, but I just like. It's a little bit what I want to say, because this is like, you know, the last episode of Steven Universe or whatever. It's a bit unfortunate that no other galactic civilizations were introduced, like that the gems have crushed or whatever. It's weird that humans are like the only.
Season 6 is confirmed.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, well, never mind then. Excuse me. I just assumed they would just end it.
I mean, it is interesting that this isn't the end, because it. I mean,
what are they going to do for a whole season? I was wondering what they're going to do for a whole movie. What are they going to do for a whole next season?
I don't know, man. I guess we can get to that at the end.
Okay, this is new information. Like I said, I'm very unspoiled for this sort of thing.
That's very true.
Which is called being uninformed, by the way. So, we'll discuss that at the end.
We'll discuss that at the end. But for now, yeah.
Jeez Louise.
I know, that is interesting, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Steven has saved all of space, as he does, with the power of love and friendship.
Of course.
He does.
Yep, he gave the whole universe a big friendship, healing kiss, and that saved everybody. Great work, Steven.
Oh, yeah. Man, the diamonds are pretty... I really like the diamonds as sort of like weird grandmas.
Yeah, it's just weird grandmas.
Weird, clingy grandmas. It was pretty... And, like, a lot of people I know are, like, sort of, like... I guess you're unspoiled for this, but a lot of people are like, oh, I can't believe the diamonds are so lame now. But, like, this is, like, after 2 years of Steven exposure. Yeah. They've grown for 2 years now.
Did you see how, like... You saw what happened to Peridot, and that was not even 2 years of Steven exposure. Like, come on. What do you think 2 whole years is going to do? Jasper's probably a good guy now.
We didn't see Jasper.
Yeah, Jasper wasn't in this one.
And honestly, that probably would have been more than this movie could handle. Yeah, there was already so much in this movie.
What would Jasper even be doing?
She's just
chilling on Homeworld.
I saw a great fan comic of, like, it was like Jasper, like, sitting in, like, an apartment somewhere, and like she looks out the window, and like the giant injector thing like lands in the background, and she's like, huh. She goes back to watching TV.
Jeez,
it's a great comic.
I'm sure Jasper's just chilling on Homeworld. I don't think she'd. I don't know if she wants to hang out on Earth for much longer.
Yeah, who knows? We'll probably find out in season 6.
She doesn't have great memories on Earth.
That's true, but yeah.
Yeah, we will find out in season 6.
But and then we get the great sort of opening number of "Here We Are in the Future," and I like that song a lot.
It's pretty good. It's
just.
I don't know. Okay, but here's the thing though. Another little spicy nugget of cringe coming in from the back. I don't like how all of the gems like sing their entire like character arc out throughout the song, like one at a time, one after the other.
I do like that though.
I don't know. I feel like it felt like a worse version of like the extended opening. If you remember. You remember the extended opening?
I know the extended.
They all get like one little line.
That is true.
Like,
it was kind of like the extended opening.
But to me, it felt like they kind of like drew it out, a little bit too long, and to me, it felt like they're like all these new people are just gonna skip the show and watch the movie. We gotta show them about what these characters are all about.
I guess that pretty much had to be like the logic behind it, because like obviously everyone already knows all of these characters who's watched. Yeah,
exactly.
The show.
It's like who.
And this is sort of a waste of time. In that sense.
Who on earth would watch the Steven Universe movie when there's literally 5 seasons of Steven Universe to watch?
That's what people do.
They're stupid.
There are people that like watch like episode 8 or season 8 of Game of Thrones or whatever, and just like don't even watch the rest.
I don't think people watch season 8 of Game of Thrones because that's the one everybody says is like the worst one.
You know what I mean? People they don't watch the shows. They'll just watch. Oh, look, a movie. I'll just watch.
They're
that.
Like, oh
and
my.
I guess for those people, I guess they're in luck because it sort of goes into the backstory for you. But of course, all of the emotional attachment is lost. So it's
obviously there's no build up.
So it's still a complete and utter waste.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's all I'm saying is they could have put something else there instead of that.
I think so, but
just put the extended opening in there and use all their saved time for something else.
Yeah, I think it was a good enough song that I was okay with. Maybe. Like the sort of retread and because it was just like here's the stuff you already know.
Yeah, it's like, and I did like the reprise at the end a lot better than the original version at the beginning.
So like because so many different
but it's songs. Just when they and I did like the original song too. It's just when they start going into their backstories, it felt like it got like the lyrics got clumsier to me. Like they weren't as flowing. They weren't like flowing as well as like the rest of the song.
I don't know.
That maybe that's just my personal opinion.
I've listened to it like a bunch of times, so I'm already invested.
Right.
But yeah, I can see what you're saying. There was
not a bad song by any means.
Yeah, there was a lot of time spent on like just doing the whole. It wasn't. I mean, I say a lot of time. It was just one song.
Yeah, like I said, I'm making a big deal out of it, but it's like the one part of the song.
The thing that is great about Steven Universe songs, and lots of movies and shows do songs, and a lot of them are terrible because they use this. They like say, okay, we can take a break from doing a show now and just have a song and dance routine. Whereas in Steven Universe, it's all a part of the progressing narrative, and if you like pluck the song out, it would like totally ruin everything. You have no idea what's going on.
It's important that the characters aren't necessarily always in the same place in the story at the beginning of the song as they are at the end of the song. Yeah. Like, progress is made during the song, which is pretty interesting.
We don't, and when that's not happening is when you just, like, you start not paying attention during the song.
Exactly. I would also like to point out, in regards to my negative comments so far, that every single, especially concerning the song, is that every single Steven Universe song has grown on me the more I've listened to it. Yeah. So, just
I can definitely say that as well.
Yeah, like literally anyone that I didn't like at first, I've just listened to it like once or twice, and then it's like, all right, fine, it's good.
You can buy the whole Steven Universe soundtrack now. It's great, and I love it.
Yeah, except that I'm not gonna spend money on nothing.
Anyway,
I'll steal the Steven Universe soundtrack.
All right, but anyway,
moving on in the future.
Let's just do it song by song. What's the next song?
Well, the next song's probably Other Friends, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, suddenly out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
new character shows up.
First, they're in the future now, and now a giant, metaphor for the future is heading towards them. A giant drill. Ready to destroy the environment. Very environmentally conscious there. Rebecca Sugar. Brilliant theming there.
Anyway, new character shows up. Spinel, who, like I said, I was sort of... that her design seemed like I'm going to say weird and sort of incongruous with the rest of the show.
Yeah, and oh my gosh.
It just seemed a little...
brilliant character.
I mean, I liked her design. It just like seemed like it didn't fit super good in Steven Universe until they like sort of explained why she was that way, because she's a toy.
Exactly.
Now it's like, okay, that makes sense why she's like this cartoon rubber hose thing. I like it. I like it a lot.
Like when Spinel first started talking, I was like, oh boy, here we go. We get this wacky character who's gonna make random jokes all day long, the whole time they're here.
I was really afraid of like a wacky villain type character.
The wacky villain. Ugh.
Those are usually not very fun.
But then she starts singing, and it's like the best song in the whole show.
It was a pretty good song, yeah.
Like I'd say, I'm gonna say by far the catchiest song on its own merits. Just like it's got the best. It's got the best hook, I think, of any of the songs. Even if you would think that overall the other ones might be better, I think the hook on this one is just...
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm probably gonna agree with you on that one. I really liked Other Friends. It was bopping.
It was dropping.
Yep.
It was scything.
Yep.
And and the animation.
Oh yes, just her like spinning around that scythe was the coolest thing I've ever seen in this show.
My mind was blown. Like every frame of animation or every like scene just like blew my mind when she starts singing. Like just the first scene when she comes up and she's sort of like swinging her arms like like that in front of Steven. Like that was the first shot that was like, whoa, this looks really good. What's going on?
Okay.
And then really good stuff.
Yeah,
so
spinning around, dancing with that scythe, like
the scythe actually something that I mean somebody's probably mentioned this already, and I haven't seen it yet. But that's her scythe twirling is very similar to the scythe twirling in an anime called Soul Eater.
I think I watched the first episode of that.
Yeah, so it's very similar animation style when she's throwing around that scythe. The main character in Soul Eater also uses a scythe.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Very good animation there.
Just shout out to one individual moment. It's just like in the song, it's like, "Who am I? Who am I? What do you even say?" And like where she's like marching forward on top of the
roof
lighthouse, and that's a really good shot. I love it. That's a
really good one. Yeah,
like her facial expressions are perfect during the whole thing. Spinel, right off the bat, I was like, okay, this person is the coolest villain.
Yeah, the
best villain in all of this
Steven
show.
Universe suddenly. Yeah, and I get one thing I noticed in the comments of the comments of the other things, because I read the YouTube comments on the video because I'm very smart and not wanting to kill myself at every moment. But one thing is people are speculating on like, oh man, Spinel, how did she beat up all the crystal gems at once? Oh man, it's because they're rusty, and it's just like, no, it's because she has so much experience like playing with people you know, because she played with Rose with the pink diamond all that time, so she's just playing. It's like, no, it's because she has really good shape-shifting powers. Like, her shape-shifting powers are better than everyone else's, and she abuses that.
I think you are all fools. It's obvious because she is the first Steven Universe villain to conjure the power of singing while fighting. And that makes you unstoppable.
No, what are you talking about? Garnet sings while fighting all the time.
Exactly. She's the first Steven Universe villain.
There's no way she's the
that
first
power.
Steven Universe villain
To
to
sing
fight
while...
There's no way. There's no way
liter-
no other villain has not sang while fighting.
That is literally the case. She is
There's
the first
no way
one.
somebody hasn't sang before while fighting.
Try to name one.
All right, let's see here. Well, we'll do it later because I'd have to name all the villains, but I'm sure
like
somebody has sang.
Like, there aren't many fight songs in the show. Pretty much just Stronger Than You with Garnet.
Well.
So, on the other time... But, like, she is the first villain to sing while fighting. And then, of course, Garnet turns that back around on her at the end of the movie and sings while fighting her. And that's how they win.
Yeah, that's how they win. Gotcha. Well, I'll take your word for that.
That's how the world of Steven Universe works.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
So when I first saw the trailers for this movie, I was thinking, how are they going to make this a whole movie? This doesn't look like a whole movie. This looks
and then they
an
wipe
episode.
everybody's memories.
But then they
Classic.
wipe everyone's memories and reset them back to zero. Their basic gem forms.
Yeah, so this is the moment where, after my hopes were raised for other things, they were dashed once again, because I was like, what are they doing? They're using the cliche, oldest trick in the book. Oh, want, everybody's memories are gone. We have to get them back by, I don't know, being really good friends with them, basically. But then also Spinel gets wiped too. And
that actually made it. I was thinking, okay, so they're all going to be like this again. I was thinking the same thing, but then I was like, oh yeah, the same thing happened to Spinel, and that actually is really interesting.
Yeah, it's like, oh wait, what's going on? Spinel, I guess once that was the big, question mark moment is when Spinel just stands still and gets hit by the scythe, I guess. But I guess she doesn't really care about that at that point. She's a little bit crazy. But it makes it a lot more interesting now that we get to actually see Spinel, original Spinel.
It's like a whole different way of doing like a character backstory. Instead of flashing back to her being like happy and fun, she is actually reset to being happy and fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually that's a really good way of putting it. It's like a really odd backstory.
But yeah, all the gems get reset, including Steven. He gets its powers reset back to zero, and so.
Yeah, that's
you're
just gonna have to accept that one.
That's just how it works.
Yeah, that's just none of the other gems got their powers reset.
It is kind of weird when you think about it. It's like, it's not like he forgot how to didn't forget how to use them.
Yeah, he didn't have his memories of learning to use his powers removed.
Yeah, so how that works, who knows?
Whatever.
It doesn't really matter that
We'll chalk that up to a plot hole and jump over it.
But yeah, and that's the next song is like Pearl comes back and she's like reset, and she sings and reintroduces us to the gems like they did in the first opening number, except with them all reset back to zero, which was kind of neat. And you got Ruby and Sapphire and Amethyst, who apparently is just like...
Yeah, this was another little thing. That was a little bit weird. So Ruby, Sapphire, and Pearl all get reset, and they're all just reset, normal
factory
gems.
setting gems.
Factory reset. And Amethyst got brain damage or something.
I guess apparently this is just, we have to just chalk it up to being part of her being like a defective.
Yeah, part of being
Amethyst.
overcooked or whatever.
Yeah,
is that she doesn't know.
She doesn't know what she is.
Yeah, so
where everybody else comes out, they know exactly what they are and what they're supposed to be doing, except for Amethyst. She has no idea.
Yeah, so it's interesting because didn't Amethyst spend 2,000 years or some amount of long time just sitting in the kindergarten doing nothing?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, well, because that's where Rose found her. After,
pretty much,
she popped out after the war was done and just chilled there with a rock.
Yeah. So I guess at that point she just didn't know what or who she was or what anything was.
Yeah, that sucks.
And I guess that goes in with the song that she sang at the beginning. It's like she didn't know anything but where she was. And, you know, that makes her sort of different from all the other ones.
Yeah, it does. It makes it very weird because she just doesn't know how to do anything.
Well, except for shapeshift and just become everyone else.
Yeah, she knows how to imitate things that she sees.
And that's pretty much what she does.
And that's what she does. That's it.
Yep.
Which is weird because, you know, that's kind of like a baby thing.
Yeah.
And she's sort of drawn to be sort of like baby-like.
Yeah.
Like, she kind of looks like a baby doll or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's weird because gems are not supposed to have, like, an infancy stage.
Yeah.
Necessarily. But I guess, like you said, it's like because she's overcooked.
It's part of, like, the fact that she was defective.
I can buy that.
So, yeah, I mean, it's like, not a thing that was previously explained about her, but, you know, I can easily accept that as the case. So, we're moving on from... all the gems come back, and then Spinel comes back, and you're like, oh, I'm your best friend.
Best friend.
I really like Spinel's instruments. That's sort of like, I don't know what to call it. Almost circus music, but like with the electronic to it. I really like her instrument. Just any bit she's in, she's got that going on. It's pretty great. But anyway, obviously this is a huge problem.
Yep, this is a massive problem because, man, Spinel is annoying.
Yeah, that's the problem. And they need to get everyone back to normal. So
before the drill destroys the Earth?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah.
We'll get back to that.
We'll get back to that. But more importantly, we go off to hang out with Bismuth, Peridot, and Lapis.
Yay! They're building a city.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about
Gem City,
New
Homeworld.
Was it Little Homeworld?
Or what is it? It was like Little Homeworld or New Homeworld.
Something like that.
Or Little Homeworld Town or something. I don't know.
But it was cool. It was
cool. Yeah,
I like that little Gem City that they had, like sort of with the giant weird turbine thing at the top for some reason.
I mean, I'm sure that generates electricity.
I'm sure it does something.
Yeah,
important.
I'm sure Peridot knows what she's doing.
Yeah. But yeah,
speaking of which, it's a good thing that there's a season 6, I guess, now, because I was about to mention that, like, if this was the last episode of Steven Universe,
I want to see more. I want to see more Little Homeworld.
I want to see more Little Homeworld, but also Lapis, Amethyst, Peridot, and Bismuth. None of them have ever fused with anybody, and there needs to be at least one fusion with Peridot because that was foreshadowed a long time ago.
Indeed. I mean,
so I before the series, I would have been disappointed if the series ended without Peridot fusing with anyone ever.
Yeah.
Even if
I'd be okay if she never fused with anyone because, you know,
I don't know. It seems weird.
It does seem a little weird because, like, that's how they sort of like define character progression in a lot of ways. Like, well, characters like getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And that, like when they reach like basically maximum companion points, that's when it happens.
Also, I said Lapis didn't fuse with anybody. That's obviously very wrong. I meant like a good fusion. I can understand why Lapis wouldn't want to fuse anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, that's fine. Mm-hmm. If Lapis never fuses again, that's fine. But Bismuth should also fuse with somebody. That'd be cool.
That would be rad. I want to see that.
Just because I want to see what they would come up with a Bismuth fusion.
It would probably be epic.
Yeah, exactly. Because, all the fusion character designs are really good. So I want to see more of those.
Speaking of which, we'll get to a new one pretty soon.
We'll get to a new one pretty soon.
Oh, man. I love this show. Okay, but, Steven's feeling down. The Crystal Temps cheer him up.
Crystal Temps.
The new Crystal Temps. They cheer him up with an epic song that Bismuth sings.
Thanks, Bismuth.
I think it's Bismuth's first song, actually.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty epic.
Huh?
Pretty epic.
Pretty good song.
I like her instruments too, just like the sort of electric guitar. It's pretty good. It's not my favorite song, but it fits. It fits. And following that, they've got we're gonna put them all back together, one piece at a time. And first things first, we have to try to murder.
Yeah.
We have to try to murder Sapphire. That'll fix things.
And in his wacky attempt to in his wacky failure to pretend to murder Sapphire, he accidentally sets in motion a chain of events which almost murders Sapphire.
Well, actually, almost murders Ruby.
Oh yeah, Ruby. That's right. But by extension, Sapphire.
Yep. History repeats itself once again, and Ruby and Sapphire are back together.
Yeah, what do you know?
Fused
just
into...
that easy. Oh wait, their memories aren't actually back yet.
Yeah, but it is really fun. We get new Garnet hanging around for basically the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
She's pretty fun, I
She's
gotta
pretty
say.
cool, yeah. Or old Garnet.
That's a good point. New, old Garnet.
Exactly.
Fresh Garnet.
Garnet, yeah. But
and, you know, she gets another song. It's a pretty nice song too.
Great song.
Ah, man, I love this show.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it because I don't actually remember a song very well, but I'm
Isn't
sure it was
love?
good.
Isn't it love? Isn't it love?
It's probably good. I don't remember it.
It was
But
good. All right, but after that,
but yeah, they don't get her mind back quite yet.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a bit of a niggle with this movie is that, you know, what it takes exactly to get their memories back is a little vague.
What it takes to get Garnet's back is a little weird, but I feel like I'm
Yeah.
okay with all the others. But anyway, speaking of which, we move right along to Steven needs to go find Amethyst because she wandered off.
Yep.
And she does, and they have a fantastic song, one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, that was a really good
like not quite a it's pretty good, not quite as good as Other Friends, but still pretty dang good. I love it. It's she just like has a nice little song with Amethyst.
Yeah.
And I feel okay, so here's the thing I'm just gonna mention right now. Zach Callison, voice actor of Steven Universe, this is his best performance, both in terms of acting and vocal performance we've had for him. It's really great, and I love it every second of it. He did fantastically. I just loved it.
Yeah,
Like, all the songs,
really
fantastic. All the singing, amazing.
Great work.
Great work, Zach. Keep it up. But yeah, they have a nice song for Amethyst.
To get her memories back.
And they sort of like, you know, go through all the stuff they used to do together, hanging out, cheating at skee ball, going on train rides. And eventually that, like, I understand why that sort of puts her back together, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, like, sort of, like, reforms that bond with Steven, essentially.
Yeah, I guess. That makes sense.
It's pretty great. And I really love that song, and I really love that scene, because, you know, you get really after 5 seasons, you're really attached to all these characters. So when they all come back to themselves, it's like, oh, this is amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Just makes me happy every single time.
They got all their character development back.
Yeah. Yep.
The magic character progression scythe cut all of their character progression short, but now we got it all back.
We got it all back. So yeah, Amethyst is back. She's back.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Finally. So we gotta head on to stage 2, which is getting Pearl back.
Getting Pearl back. Because, you know, at this point, this is at this point when, like, the ticking clock is sort of introduced. Because, like, Peridot's like, okay, we're all gonna die.
Yeah,
if no one does something about this injector. It's like, okay, so we need to start putting our priorities in order. We need to get Pearl back so we can get Spinel back so we can get rid of the injector. Then we can deal with Garnet.
Yeah, then Garnet can come next. All right, another niggle and number 3. I think it's this niggle. Where exactly did Spinel get a doomsday device?
The answer is movie.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll get we got Spinel's backstory come up, so I'll address it then.
Sure. But first
we've got the concert.
We got the concert with Sadie Killer and the Suspects put on a great show.
Put on a great
for the
show
end of the world.
For the entire town because the cover charge was removed from the band, and because their band was holding their concert in the evacuation zone.
Yep.
So everybody evacuated there and got a free concert too. So you know what? It all turned out great.
Sounds great. But despite their raucous rock and roll music, it's not enough to like remind Pearl of her rebellious spirit.
Yes.
and they need something more powerful to do the trick.
Yeah, they need to destroy her master so she no longer has
So
one.
they murder Greg.
So they kill Greg to save the world.
To save the world. It was a costly sacrifice. Steven brought him back as a Pink Greg later.
Yeah,
but
fine.
it was still a pretty epic
very
sacrifice. But no. Instead
it needed to be maximally painful, you know, just to make sure that Spinel was defeated.
But instead of that, they do a nice reversal from everyone's favorite scene of Rose and Pearl fusing for the first time into Rainbow Quartz.
Mm-hmm.
They do an epic reversal of that, where Steven and Greg fuse.
Steven and Greg
into
fuse.
like
Steg, I guess is what they're calling.
I don't.
It,
Okay.
is the one I heard. I guess.
I really like Mr. Multiverse better.
Yeah, Mr. Multiverse,
which is what people on the internet are calling him. Steg
really?
Multiverse.
Oh yeah,
but I like Mr. Multiverse. That's a great name. Steg, not so much.
I mean, there's just no way you're gonna combine these two names in any way that's good.
I mean, what's the other way? Gavin?
Yeah, Gavin.
Gavin? No.
Gavin Multiverse? No.
No, Steg Multiverse. I guess Steg is a pretty, looking at a design, Steg is a pretty good name for him.
Yeah, so Steg is kind of horrifying, but he's a pretty cool design if you look at him. So, Steg being formed, Greg is now dead, technically, and therefore, Pearl has no master.
Once again.
And so, also, the fiery light of her jealousy for Greg is relit when Rose Quartz merges with him and not her for the first time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
I'm gonna assume that was what's happening.
Real quick thing about Steg though, there's a whole bunch of, I don't know what to call them, just fools on the internet who don't understand television. No, they don't understand
taste.
They've got this whole thing. It's like, it's gross for Steven to fuse with his dad. That's weird. Even though it's been established time and time again throughout the show that it's inherently a sexual thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. They're kind of bringing it in there, honestly.
But, okay, it is clearly established that it is not like, I need to calm down, I'm freaking out. But it's symbolic of relationships.
Right.
Not just physical, sexual relationships, but all kinds of relationships. Which is why no one thought it was weird when Steven fused with Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl.
At the same time.
Yeah, so why would it be weird if he fused with his dad? Yeah. But apparently some people think it's incest.
It's incest, yeah.
But that's
besides that not being what incest is, at all. That's not the definition of incest.
But the point is, it's not inherently sexual.
Yeah, it's only sexual if you bring that into it.
Exactly, it just people who have this line of reasoning drives me up the wall. Did they watch the show? Did they not get it's not a subtle message that they're beaming out with this stuff. It's not subtle. It's
definitely not subtle.
It's almost a little too on the nose, and yet somehow they're still flying right over the head. But anyway, enough with me being annoyed at people on the internet.
Yeah, whatever. They serenade Pearl.
They serenade Pearl with an epic power ballad or rock ballad about being independent together, whatever that means. Yeah. But it works, and I really love how all the gems sort of, what do you call it? Reform back on themselves. They go through cycle through all their old forms. And I really like Pearl's especially because it sort of goes through her 1,000-year life story of sort of tragedy, basically. Of love and loss and all that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And she goes through all that, and it was pretty epic, and she finally gets back to herself, gets her epic jacket back, and this is the one thing, my real solid criticism of the movie. Pearl and Amethyst fuse into Opal. Opal does not get in on that jacket action, and I am totally bummed.
Yeah, that's true. There's no jacket.
Opal should have had a sick jacket.
Why didn't Opal have a sick jacket?
I don't know. That? It was.
Does Opal have the same design as she always does?
It looks like she had the same exact design as always.
Lame.
Pretty lame. She should have had a jacket.
Yeah, why isn't there a reformed Opal?
That would have been cool.
They've both reformed since the last time.
Yeah, Amethyst 4 times.
Yeah, Amethyst has reformed 9 or 6 times. Amethyst just keeps on reforming over and over again.
But man, I was really bummed that there was no jacket for Opal.
Yeah, that sucks. I didn't notice that, but I am bummed now.
Live and let live. It was all the Opal fans were happy because they got Opal's voice actress back because she hasn't said a word since the first episode she was introduced.
That's true.
She's only ever appeared on screen and on
Oh, she lifted a drill once.
Yeah, she did that. And, she appeared a few other times, but she never said anything because they couldn't get the voice actors back.
Yeah.
And,
Well, now that they got the movie budget, they finally got the money to bring her back.
Finally had the money to bring her back. Which, it just means... I wish they had taken this opportunity to just give her new voice actors instead. One that they could get again. I think we'd forgive them. But again, I think we've talked about this. If there was something for if the writers had something for Opal to do, they'd find a way for that.
That's true. There's not really,
Yeah, if they had like a character moment with Pearl Amethyst that they wanted Opal to have Opal for, they'd find a way to do that. But if that's not the case, then there's no reason to.
Exactly. Like, there's no reason to force it.
Yeah, but I'm still bummed about the jacket. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
It works perfectly. Pearl is back, but throughout this whole time, Spinel has sort of been tagging along with the rest of the gems.
Yep. That's what she's been doing.
With Steven, sort of as he goes around trying to bring all his friends back. And at this point she's feeling a little left out because it's just so much care and attention. Steven's given so much care and attention to all of his other real friends.
Yeah, all of his real friends.
And at this point, Spinel also sort of starts
all of his other friends, if you will.
Yeah, but after they form Steg, Spinel goes through a sort of similar thing that Pearl did, suddenly having
kind of does the same thing to her as it does
because
to Pearl.
She had a very similar
best friend,
a catalyst for her transformation, someone dying or disappearing.
Yep. Right then, Spinel's getting her memories back.
Yeah, she runs off and Steven chases after her, and she has that sort of weird moment where she's sitting on the warp pad and she's like, do you remember the garden? And for a moment she's really happy again, and then she's like, oh god. And that the facial expressions on this character are perfect all the way through. It's awesome. And they warp to the garden, which is the place where Spinel has lived. And we learn the horrible, horrible, horrible truth of what happened to her. And dear God, does it have existential terror.
Yeah.
Does it fill me with an existential dread of man, for a show that doesn't kill anybody, it sure does come up with a whole lot of fates worse than death to grant these characters.
I guess.
And dear God, that's awful.
It's pretty bad.
So Spinel sings her second song, which is really good, Drift Away. Pink Diamond tells Spinel, you just stay here, and that's it.
And she never comes back.
And she leaves and never comes back. And Steven Universe, it always hits the emotional beats. I never find that I'm not on board with what it's trying to put down, I guess. It's always hitting those emotional beats just right. And this one got to me. And dear God, it's horrible. And I feel so sad for Spinel. I still do. Every second. It's just, it's awful.
Yeah, so Spinel, before Pink Diamond even gets her colony, all the way up until Steven sends the message that he sends at the very beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, the message. And, if you go back, I don't know if you've done this, you can, rewatch the movie. And when he's sending out that message, it cuts to, a bunch of people seeing the message. And there is just a scene where you see Spinel's foot, basically. It's not very, obviously when you first watch it you have no idea what it is. It just looks like he's talking to nobody, basically. But if you rewatch the movie, you see that scene at the beginning where Spinel's there watching the message, and it's pretty terrible.
Yep. So Steven tells her Pink Diamond's dead, I guess. I'm new Pink Diamond.
Steven tells her that, my mom is the worst person ever. I think we can all agree on that. Everyone's...
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. People,
I know people are really gonna hop on the, Pink Diamond is the worst person ever bandwagon. She did save the Earth, you guys.
Yeah, she did.
You realize that, the guys who beat the Nazis weren't exactly like, the best people who ever lived, like morally paragon in all aspects, like, Japanese internment and all that. Like, America wasn't the good guy technically, but they beat the Nazis, all right? Like, you gotta give them a little credit for that. Like, at least they're not those guys.
But yeah, people all over the internet, they're just like, all right, Pink Diamond is irredeemable. The worst person.
Yeah, even though
the entire message of this movie is that people can change. So I don't know how that didn't compute.
Yeah. So so all of the other diamonds are redeemable for doing things millions and millions of times worse than Pink Diamond ever did. Like doing to other gems and other life forms, like, supposedly. I mean, we don't really know if they met anybody else out there on their travels, but at least treating other gems with the same kind of disdain that Spinel was treating with, for thousands of years, continuously.
That's the thing. It's not even like real disdain. It's just like a complete lack of acknowledging them as a person.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's also worth noting that this is the last time they see each other, Pink Diamond and Spinel, is still while Pink Diamond is still very much in the pre-Earth, she is a diamond mindset, I'm superior to other gems inherently.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's like, it's not, and it's worth noting none of the other diamonds, ever went to go find Spinel either. So,
well, I guess that's the other thing, is that Rose never went back to find Spinel.
Well, what is Rose supposed to do? Like, go, like, take a break from her revolution that she's fomenting to go check on Spinel?
I guess she just literally forgot.
Yeah, that was my guess.
Because, again, at this point, she doesn't even acknowledge Spinel as a
let me ask you this, all you morally superior folks out there. Do you remember the toys that you left in your toy chest when you were a young child? All those poor toys.
All the Toy Story memes are already all over the place.
Memes, basically. all the Toy Story memes.
All over the Steven Universe Reddit. It's everywhere.
Is Andy, like, secretly actually, like, Hitler now? Because, he's a normal person who outgrows his toys? Like, no.
But yeah, I mean,
it sucks for Spinel, but
there's no mistaking. It was a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to do to anyone. But we have to acknowledge that the theme of the movie is that people can change for the better, which Rose did.
Obviously.
Like, she became a different person by the time she became Steven.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, how is she supposed to check on Spinel? All the warps were broken at the beginning of the series, remember? What's she gonna do, walk there? Okay, whatever, keep going, sorry.
Yeah, alright. So let's move on from this particular topic.
Yeah.
Spinel has her song and transforms back to herself.
Yes.
Her full memory
cool self.
With her cool design, with like the sort of
the
lines on her face, the tears on her face. It's pretty good with the spiky hair. I like it.
Very good. Very upside down heart. Excellent.
She was like angry for a second, but then just goes to being deflated.
Yeah.
And just miserable because she is a miserable creature.
Yeah, I kind of like... I like the idea that, like, even though she does hate all this... She does hate, like, Pink Diamond now, and therefore Steven. It's worth noting that she is still, at her core, Pink Diamond's toy, and therefore would probably listen to her a little bit more than we would expect from a villain, which is why I think it's a little bit more the whole villain talks to Steven and now he's a good guy, which is kind of a trend a little bit throughout the series.
Well, I mean, that's like one of the major themes of the show is solving problems, but you don't have to do it violently all the time. Right. You can solve your differences without killing each other.
All right, wait. I wanted to get back to this. So Spinel stands in place for 6,000 years and then shows up with a doomsday device.
Yes.
Where is this doomsday device coming from exactly? Did she stop off at Doomsday R Us on the way over from the garden from Earth? How did she get from the garden to Earth?
Well, the warp pad, obviously.
Well, no, because she didn't come in on the warp pad, did she? She rode in on the Doomsday device.
She warp padded to wherever the Doomsday device was.
Oh, yes, of course.
She had an idea of where it must have been.
Yeah, she must have, because
she has it.
But how did she come up with that idea of where it was when she's been standing in one place for 6,000 years? you don't get a whole lot of intel about giant doomsday devices.
Well, I mean, maybe it's an old device.
Maybe it's an old device.
I mean,
if the diamonds wanted to destroy Earth so bad, why did they wait for the cluster when they could have just shot one of these at it?
Well, that wouldn't have destroyed the Earth. That would have just destroyed all organic life on the Earth. They want to break it up into a billion tiny pieces.
Alright, sure, whatever.
As for where this ridiculous, absurd plot device, giant organics killing injector came from, we have no answer. Yeah, people are suspecting that in season 6, like, they're going to find out who gave her the injector.
That would be interesting.
That could be interesting, but like,
who supplied it?
I'm willing to go on the movie logic of she just has it because she has to.
Sure, whatever.
I'm fine with that because, you know, I mean, you could just say maybe she just knew it's like an old world sort of gem technology. Like, she controls it with her weird horn blowing, which is like, you know, we know that some old gem tech is based on weird sound stuff.
That is true.
So this is like an ancient piece of gem technology that is no longer in use.
You know what's
she knew where to find.
You know what's also a little weird is that it has her gem at the top.
Yes, it is weird.
Like, so it's
giant heart.
it's the giant heart thing. So it's a little bit weird. Like, is this it
she customized on the way.
Maybe, like, I don't know, this is like how she was supposed to defend Pink Diamond from attack if the garden was ever attacked, I guess.
Why would a giant organic killing injector do that?
In case she was ever attacked by a giant organic planet or something, and she needed to be defended.
Attacked an entire planet.
And a whole planet comes after the diamonds. And it's also organic, so she can fire that.
All right, I'll admit it is very plot devicey and like, oh, she just has it.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not even the main point of the story.
Exactly.
So they just sort of brush over it. But like I said, people are theorizing that they may like have like a reason for its existence in the next season, and I'd be happy for that. That'd be cool. But in terms of the movie, it does not matter to me at all. It's not really that important. But what is important is Steven basically convinces Spinel that I'm sorry about what happened to you, and you're right. It was a terrible, wrong thing that happened to you, and my mother was a piece of shit for doing that. But please don't kill all life on Earth as revenge. And she's like, yeah, all right.
I guess fair enough. I overreacted.
I guess that's reasonable. And you know, Steven is like showing her genuine affection, which is his main power. Even without his powers, he always has the power to be nice to people.
Yep.
He always has his friendship no jutsu strong as ever, even with his
even stronger powers. Now.
Even stronger after 2 years of
training on the diamonds. Of hard training, being friends with the diamonds. he leveled up his friendship no jutsu to the next level,
like even further beyond.
Yeah, he's now got like I don't know, Neo friendship no jutsu, which, you know, turns your worst enemies into your best friend, just like that. Very, they're very powerful, very potent.
And, you know, sings a nice little song about how you'll learn to love again. And, you know, it's pretty heartwarming when she sort of just like decides, okay, you know what, you're right. I've overreacted. I may have gone a little bit insane on this rock floating out here for thousands of years. That may have happened. So, you know, they go back and, you know, Steven like talks down the other gems. It's like, it's okay. She's going to help out. Everything's fine. But, you know, that's the thing about abandonment and trauma is that, you know, it's not a thing that goes away so easily. And trust is a thing that does not come back so easily. So once again, Spinel sort of relapses after everything that happened. Because, you know, literally that is the problem. She can't trust anyone anymore because of what happened to her.
Yeah. See, we'll just go into this really quick. Like I said, this is what I'm saying. It's like there's more issues at stake. It's more complicated than Pink Diamond is bad.
Yeah.
Like Pink Diamond be bad person. Yeah. Lol. Because like the structure was also bad that they needed to take down. It's like Spinel having to like pathologically obey all of Pink Diamond's orders, even to the point of absurdity, was the problem. Like Pink Diamond being in like a hierarchical power position over her, in like absolutely superior being to her, was the problem. Like Pink Diamond, even if Pink Diamond was purely nice to her all the time, like, you know, she's still a slave, which is not good.
Not good.
Which is, you know, which is like the underlying structural thing that Steven has been changing over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
What a nice guy. But just wanted to point out here, you know, Pink Diamond, morally not perfect, not Hitler.
But literally no one in this show
exactly
is. That's the goal. That's the great thing about Steven Universe, and no one is black and white. Even Steven like has like his moments of doubt.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is because the internet is completely stupid, and then as soon as somebody does a bad thing, oh my god, it's so bad. Worst person. Why Pink Diamond? 1 million YouTube videos. Why Pink Diamond is the worst person in all of Steven Universe.
I made the mistake of like going down the rabbit hole on like people talking about the Steven because I loved that movie so much. I just wanted to consume every piece of media related to it. Like people saying that like Steven Universe has like almost a flaw of Steven Universe is that everyone gets redeemed, but that's I don't see how that's a flaw.
That's not
like
really
people, they've really written themselves into a corner with all the main characters getting redeemed here. It's like, what do you understand? This is like the purpose of this show is showing that there are other ways to solve your problems than literally killing people.
Yeah, it's like if they started just murdering people now, it'd be like, what's going on?
Yeah, like
what happened to the entire show the entire 6 seasons I just watched?
It's like, in the real world, you can't redeem everybody, but like that's not the point.
It's like
the point is,
I forgot.
But like it's not like there's nobody who's like really horrible in the show. There are people who do horrible things, but the fact that they can be redeemed, even the most horrible of people who do the most horrible things, that is the point. That is that is what really...
It's the theme.
That's the theme of the show in a lot of ways. It's one of the major themes. It's like...
Yeah, it's like, man, I forgot. I forgot I was watching that hyper-realistic show, Steven Universe, where, you know, everything follows logic, everything makes sense, just like how there's, you know, alien gem monsters from another world you know, very realistic. I'm glad that, you know, we're trying to make it more realistic by having them kill their opponents. Like, that'll really improve the show, make it more realistic. Thank God. No, you're stupid. Kill yourself.
This is really funny. But anyway.
Whatever. Like I said,
that just annoys me a lot. Just people like, you can't just redeem everybody. But no, that's the point. Anyway,
there's like a million songs in this whole show, and you still miss the point.
But yeah, Spinel sort of relapses because she's just broken inside, and that's sad. Yeah. And we have another big epic fight, basically, where this time Garnet sings, and of course singing gives you the ultimate power to beat up anybody in the show while you're singing. And she sings, I like the song. Like, I guess I didn't like it as much as the others simply because this song was released a little earlier than the others. Like, it came out with the trailer a few months ago, so I like listened to it a bunch of times already. So when it came out, I had already like sort of desensitized myself to the song in a funny way.
That's unfortunate.
It's like the trailer's fault. I blame the trailer. But
they released this song in the trailer?
Yeah.
Like the song like near the end?
It was The True Kind of Love, yeah. True.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, they put that out there. And you know, it's a good song. I liked it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's not my favorite Garnet song, but it was a good song.
Yeah.
And you know, it's basically the song playing over this big epic montage, essentially, of like, you know, they fight Spinel. Spinel runs off the top of her injector and starts destroying everything. So Steven's gonna go up and try to talk to her while the rest of the gems and Connie try to like rescue all the Beach City citizens from being murdered by pink
man. Goo. The pink goo gets, you know, whatever happens, it gets pushed in and it's about to destroy the world. And man, it's a good are like Beach City residents like really rich or something, because they've rebuilt this town like 4 or 5 times now.
Insurance. Anyway,
I mean, it's just really
space invader insurance.
I mean, after the first time, you know, I guess you get that, but I mean, maybe it's probably a good thing that there's only like, you know, 7 or 8 people in the whole city. Otherwise, rebuilding would probably be much more expensive.
I mean, Nanaflaw is putting down some serious income taxes, for in case of extraterrestrial apocalypse event, rebuild funds, and that's where all that money goes. I mean, it really, really hurts the Fryman's business in a lot of ways, but they have to pay it because, you know, you never know when an alien might come and destroy the world.
It's true. And also, they're the only other business in the entirety of Beach City other than Nanofoss Pizza Shop.
And, you know, Funland.
Oh, yeah, I guess Funland is also a
business
of some kind.
Entertainment never goes out of style.
Of course. Also, apparently, the Funland is run by one guy.
It's my favorite.
All right.
Oh, Mr. Smiley.
Mr. Smiley.
What a great man. But anyway.
So, they're fighting Spinel.
Well, they're not really fighting Spinel.
Yeah, whatever.
Steven crawls up to the top of the injector to finally try and just talk Spinel down and maybe stop the world from ending. And, you know, Steven has another song, which I love. Again, Zach Callison, great performance in vocals and everything else. Just fantastic song. It's really epic.
Yep.
Like, you know, like I said, there aren't many fight songs in the show, and I love Stronger Than You. It's the coolest fight song ever. And, you know, we get two. We get The True Kind of Love, and we get I Can Make a Change, or whatever it's called. It was epic, and I loved it. It was, you know, so bombastic and awesome. Steven gets his powers back as well. Oh, yeah. That happens.
He gets he remembers.
He remembers. Oh, yeah, we glossed over Garnet getting her memories back because it sort of is like, how did she get her memories back?
Yeah, that part kind of sucked.
I mean, I think it was like, you know, in the beats of the story, it was pretty cool for her to come back right then, I guess.
Yeah,
but like also, I don't like, you know, what was the trigger? Like he said the truth.
Yeah, she said the truth.
And it's like, oh, the truth. And
the
like
truth. That was an episode title 3 years ago.
So the question is, if like someone had just said the word truth, like out in any context before that point,
the truth.
When Garnet was in the room, would she have suddenly got her memories
the truth?
back?
What is the truth?
Yeah, that is a little weird. But you know,
definitely the weakest of the memory revivals there.
Because I mean, and I'd say like, oh, this. I don't even really know what the logic they're going with is at this point, so you know it's fine.
I guess if I had to patchwork some logic into this, it would be that like most of the work was already done by the whole fusing thing, true. And then like this was just like the edge.
They just really needed the final piece.
Yeah, this was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, you know,
just like, oh, the truth.
Because you know that's the thing about Garnet is like, you know, the thing that makes her interesting is like she is like a relationship, a long-lasting, great relationship between two people.
Right.
So, like, I don't know what exactly triggers that part to come back.
Yeah, you'd think it would be the whole fusing thing.
I mean,
because that's like a big part of the whole relationship.
Yeah, well, I like that because that's like the beginning of the relationship. But what she was missing was like the sort of experience of being in that relationship for thousands upon thousands of years. Yeah, so it's weird that all came back with one word. Obvious is the thing. So Garnet is the only one because you know. She got to sing a song after she came back, but everyone else got a song to bring them back, you know? Garnet's song came after she came back.
What if he just said something like, you know, this is the answer? Or something. It's like, oh, it's the answer.
Yeah, I remember that episode.
That's a good episode.
That was my favorite episode. All right, Garnet. You get a pass for being the coolest character. Whatever. Good job.
Garnet, you're lucky you're a cool character. Otherwise, this would ruin you.
Right.
Whatever. So they beat up Spinel. Not really.
No, they don't beat up Spinel.
They don't
really beat people up that often.
Not anymore. They ran out of monsters that they could just wail on repeatedly.
Yep. And like, you know, keep trapped in bubbles.
Yeah, and keep trapped in bubbles. But
like Steven, you know, he's like having an epic battle and has an epic song and basically just again, sort of talks her down.
Yep.
Like, and you know, because that's the thing about Spinel is like she, like unlike previous villains, she really isn't like she's just sort of she's more like Lapis than she is like any other villain character. She's sort of just broken a little bit inside, and like she's really just damaged.
Yeah, there is. Now that I'm recalling this, there's one aspect of the whole. Her relapse thing that I didn't really like that much, which is that it's kind of like a misunderstanding sort of thing.
I mean,
like she's like, "Why are you carrying that? Why are you carrying?" And it's like, where else am I? Where else is like he gonna put it? It's like a dangerous weapon. Like, is he just gonna leave it on the ground? Like, where is he gonna put it?
Well, that's just,
he can't put it in his gem.
That's just part of the thing, because the
yeah,
thing
but why
that
did
was,
he just say? Like, what he could have just been like, all right, here you go, take it.
I mean, that was just the thing that was broken about her, though, is that she couldn't just easily trust anyone again.
Yeah. So the mistrust is sparked by Steven still having like the memory erase scythe, and she's going, "Oh, I see how it is. You're just gonna erase my memories,
well,
huh?"
It's more sparked by she just like feels like, oh, I guess that's it. I guess now I'm just done. We're just done with me. You've just used me, and now I'm gone. And he's like trying to explain, no, that wasn't it. But she's just so far gone.
Yeah, well, all I'm saying is that the solution, like, Steven starts, like, stammering, like, no, that wasn't what I, meant, and then he's just like, if you just said the words, like, you could just say words and it would help, I guess.
I mean, I don't know, I think that's the, I don't
Whatever.
think it would
I think it could have been, like, they wanted the relapsing to happen. I just didn't like the execution there. I agree with the concept of her relapsing, I guess. I don't have a problem with that. But I think it should have been done a little bit better.
Maybe.
There shouldn't have been like an easy, like when she starts, talking about the scythe and say use like, well, obviously Steven's not going to use the scythe on her. Like, come on.
Yeah. Which, he shows later, like by breaking the scythe and stuff.
Yeah, they're breaking the scythe. I guess that also does it.
Yeah.
He could have done that too.
Exactly.
At least instead of just like standing there being like, no, don't do it. No.
Yeah. But
just break it a little faster, just like a couple minutes beforehand.
Yeah, I guess that would have worked.
Whatever.
But anyway.
It's a nice big gesture. Would have snapped her out of it a little bit maybe. It's worth a shot.
But that's the thing that eventually does bring her back to her senses, essentially, is that Steven has just been genuinely nice to her basically the whole time.
Yeah.
She's like actually cares
She's
about
like,
this.
wait a minute.
Like, oh, this person who she acknowledges that he's not Pink Diamond, which is more than a lot of the other villains.
Yeah,
and she understands that this person who I've essentially done nothing but try to murder this entire time is legitimately trying to make a connection with me and he genuinely cares about me. And she's kind of like the most mature villain in that way, in that she like understands this, where everyone else is just like, I don't care that you're being nice.
Stop being so nice to me.
It's like, she's like, oh, you actually were nice to me, and you, unlike Pink Diamond, you actually did care about me a little bit. And I'm like just still trying to kill you. Why am I doing this?
Right.
And she like just, and that, and
then the diamonds show up.
And then the injector explodes, which was a thing, I guess.
Yeah, okay. With the injector thing, it's like, wasn't this thing supposed to like end the world or something? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, but Steven kissed the ground and fixed it.
Yeah, he kissed like one part of the ground.
Yeah, but then maybe he kissed the rest of the ground.
I like to assume that all organic life on Earth outside of Beach City has been destroyed, and we just didn't pan it. Like everyone in Beach City got saved, by the gems and such. Poor Connie got to do like absolutely nothing this whole movie.
No, she rode around in line.
Yeah,
she went to space camp. She was fine.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like they shove her out of the movie at the beginning. Just so they can, like, have her come back at the last minute to do nothing.
I mean, she didn't have anything to do. Like,
that's why did they just leave her at space camp then?
I don't know, so she could show up and help.
Yeah, and do nothing.
Like everybody else did. And that,
Well, the other gems actually, like, did stuff.
Well, they went around saving people just like Connie did.
Yeah, but they did other stuff before that. Like they were, helping.
Actually, they just spent the most movie with their memories erased.
Yeah, well, that's what they were doing, being, memoryless.
And Connie was
something.
Being away from the area, just like they were being away from their own minds.
Yeah, of course. It's exactly the same thing. Surely there's no difference there.
But anyway.
Whatever. Poor Connie. She's good.
She is great. I love Connie, and I wish she had been in the movie more. But, maybe she'll be more in season 6.
Yeah. But, the big question regarding Connie is, of course, why doesn't Stevani have 4 arms?
Well, why doesn't Garnet have 4 arms?
She's third eye.
Why doesn't she have 4 arms, though?
I don't know.
And, and you can see it, like, in Garnet's arms, it's sort of like, she has, like, a different color arm, like, at the elbow. So it's like, the 2 arms connected and made one longer arms because they have short arms, just like Steven and Connie.
I guess. I mean, you don't see that in Connie or in Stevani.
Well, you know, because they're human and it's different.
Sure, whatever.
Okay, so here's the reason. Stevani doesn't need to play a double-necked guitar, and Steg does.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
the reason.
You know, people... Okay, whatever. They're not big enough.
Because it's inconsistent, and it always has been. But moving
should
right
be
along
less
from this
inconsistent.
dumbass topic.
Because more arms is cooler. You ever
Agreed.
thought of that?
Agreed. But they don't.
Chump.
So we're not. Stevani wasn't even in this movie. So
Another big mark against it.
I do like Stevani. But anyway, they saved the day. Spinel's been friendified.
Yeah, Spinel is befriended by the three diamonds.
Oh yeah, the diamonds show up. And,
I said.
They're like, hey, Steven, we're going to live with you now.
Yeah, we're moving in.
It's like, oh, God, no, not like this. But then they meet Spinel. And, a lot of people say that this is, like, the weirdest part of the movie. And I sort of see where they're coming from. And I sort of felt a little bit the same way when the first time I watched it. It seems like, kind of like, oh, it's a little bit weird that, this character is like, oh, she's going with the people that remind her of the person that hurt her so much. But, like, I think people are, like, forgetting that the diamonds, these aren't the same diamonds that we met 2 years ago. These are diamonds with 2 years of growing and changing that we didn't get to see. So I think, like, they do seems like sort of clingy to Steven, but it's not out of, like, any sort of... It's sort of more of a genuine affection for him, than like any sort of messed up thing.
Plus, I mean, yeah, it's also the connection. She's he is technically their sibling? Question mark?
Their nephew?
Yeah, like they're related somehow, right?
Yeah, but
intimately.
Yeah,
he's the reincarnation of their sister. Question mark?
Yeah, like it.
So it makes sense.
But they just. I feel like people like take it with like a weird like sort of grain of salt, as if they're sort of still being a little evil almost. But I think they like genuinely just want someone to like pour their affection into.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
just like they used they used to have with Pink Diamond.
Yeah, because it's
but they want to do it better now because they messed up with Pink Diamond and they want to do it better now. Just like Spinel wants to, like, sort of, in her own words, mess it up with Steven, and she wants another chance to do it better with someone else, Right.
But it's like, I don't even know, like, because the diamonds they're always like, oh, hey, let's move in with Steven, move in with us. But it's worth noting, they never force Steven to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. They're not, like, actually forcing him. Or
they're not like, hey, Steven, we moved in now. They say, hey, Steven, we're going to move in, haha. And he's like, no. And then they don't. It's just that easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the diamonds are on the level. They're
good now.
They're like the weird sort of... They play the role of like the sort of slightly racist grandma.
Exactly.
But they're not horrible people anymore.
Yeah, we still don't know where the diamonds came from.
Yeah. I mean... Still
don't know.
They're just, they exist.
Well, that's the thing, though, because most gems are cultivated, right?
Yeah.
So, what if... Who made the original diamond? Who made the original gem who started cultivating other gems?
Who knows?
Did they just...
Maybe we'll find out. Maybe it'll be forever a mystery of the universe.
Perhaps. I hope we'll find out.
But,
that would be... Because that's one of the few directions the show could really go in for another season, I think.
I don't know.
Is going into...
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I guess we'll get into talking about season 6 in a second, I guess. But one more thing I want to...
gone through the whole movie,
one more thing I want to mention about Spinel and her whole, like... I want to, like... I mean, thank you for your help and everything, but I kind of just want to leave. And I think I understand that, because it's sort of more like a... She feels like if she did stay, she'd always, like, in the back of her head be afraid that, like... What if they're only nice to me because they're afraid of me, of what I might do?
Yeah.
And so she wants to sort of...
destroy the whole world.
Yeah, so she wants to sort of start over fresh. With
people who can destroy her with a glance.
Start over fresh. And I think the diamonds are good for that because they are just they genuinely just want to love somebody.
Yeah.
And Spinel needs someone to love her.
Yeah, and there's 3 of them, so if anybody gets bored of Spinel, they can just send her to the next one.
Yeah, she just needs to learn to trust people again, and that's like a hard thing to do.
I like to think that the diamonds like fight over who gets to hang out with Spinel now. Like they're like cute. they have really serious meetings where they get together and schedule out when Spinel goes with each of the diamonds, and they jockey and negotiate for more or less time.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's my own little headcanon.
That's
now.
Adorable. But yeah, and that's basically the end of the movie. We get the final musical number. Here we are in the future with my friends.
With my friend.
And that's why Happily Ever After never ends. Beautiful.
Good work. All right. That's the movie.
Oh, and
it's pretty good.
Fantastic. I loved this movie. I absolutely loved it. Like, I was afraid it was going to be bad. Maybe my low expectations, made me like it more. I don't know. But really, I just loved every second of it.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to just watch.
Yep. I pretty much agree. Low expectations because I thought it was going to be bad. And it turned out to actually be good. So you know what? You proved me wrong.
Good job, Rebecca Sugar. And that's actually
Get better trailer, people.
Yeah, I guess so. Because the trailer just really turned me off. But, I don't know. I guess speaking of that, let's talk about what's next for Steven Universe. Because apparently there is going to be a season 6, which presumably will take place after this movie. People are theorizing that it might take place in between. Years, which I don't know. That'd be kind of.
But nothing even happens.
Yeah, I don't care about it.
The whole point of the 2-year time skip right here is because nothing happens in those 2 years.
So nobody cares. Like Steven dismantles the Empire. It seems like it wouldn't be the kind of show like we were talking about at the beginning. Space politics, love it, but not what Steven Universe is for.
Yeah.
I'll read about it in the Foundation series. I don't need any more. I don't need it in my Steven Universe. That's not what it's.
It just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. So it's probably going to take place after the movie.
Yeah. Plus, Zach Castillion or whatever his name is, his voice is already. It's too far gone to go back to be the 14.
Well, I mean, his voice has always been like that. He just does the Steven voice,
right?
Which is impressive.
Yeah, so I think an interesting direction it could go would be the origin of the gems and what exactly they are.
I mean, that could be interesting, but I don't necessarily think that's what they're gonna go for. I wouldn't if we were gambling, I would not bet on that direction.
Really?
Yeah, I would not put my money on that.
What would you bet on that?
That's the thing, 'cause I don't know. It's like Steven Universe has always been weird, where I have no idea where it's at. I never have any idea where it's going. I never but obviously Rebecca Sugar has a plan for this stuff. I remember she often talks about in certain podcast interviews how she has basically a document that has the entirety of Steven Universe on it, which is impressive. And and every time I think, what the heck could they possibly do with this? I don't know where they're going to go from here. She always has something. So presumably, if she's doing a season 6, it's because she has something planned for season
obviously.
6. Not that she's like, okay, let's keep going now. It's she's not like, okay, it's over now, but I'm going to keep going anyway because show.
Yeah, exactly.
I have faith that is not the kind of creator we're dealing with here.
Yeah, well, I seriously doubt that she'd just start messing with she spent so much time working on this 5-season masterpiece over here plus movie. Why would she ruin it with a 6th season?
So here's what I'm thinking about the movie though, is that it almost works as episode 1 of a new series, It's sort of imagine basically Steven Universe Z for lack of a better comparison.
I see.
But using the building blocks of the entire show, using the entire first 4 or 5 seasons as the building blocks for the stage for this new show that she's sort of started with this movie, because all these characters we know and love, and but they're going on new sort of types of adventures. I guess that's the only thing I could. Because that's what this movie feels like, a sort of celebration of Steven Universe as a whole, Like, you know what I mean? Because, you know, with all, like, the whole backstory at the beginning.
Yeah.
And, like, sort of going through, like, redoing the character arcs of all the characters in a way to, like, you know, get them back to normal. And then Steven having his line, like, this is like every terrible thing that's ever happened to me happening all at once right now. And it feels like a sort of, I don't know, it just, that makes me feel like it's like the...
Well, if it is Steven Universe Z, you can look forward to Steven having a child, the child growing up, and I guess beating up somebody that Steven couldn't beat up, and then resigning from relevance for the rest of eternity.
Right.
So
I never watched Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, whatever.
Except for the abridged version.
Good.
But anyway, but do you understand what I'm saying? Am I like making myself clear?
I guess.
On this?
Well, I just don't. It's just. I mean, I guess it's not a.
Like I'll just go back to what I originally imagine. Like this movie is not like the end of Steven Universe. This movie is episode 1 of new Steven Universe.
I don't know. It'd be a pretty bad first episode then, because you know it's not a great first episode that starts with the end of the world.
Well, you know, the first.
Not a great starting point.
Well,
like
yeah.
they usually don't. They didn't get to the end of the world in the actual series until like the cluster.
Yeah, well, you know what I think it works.
I don't know. Like it seems like the front loading seems kind of like clunky to me, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. Like a new series. Like I don't know. Like where else are they gonna go with it though?
That's why I'm saying it's a new sort of series that's gonna do new things. That, like literally, that's the thing. I can't think of what the heck they're gonna do for season 6. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like you said, maybe they'll go into the origin of Gemkind, which you know, I guess that could be a thing. But like, how would they integrate? That's not like a main story though. That's like a side.
That could be a main story. So think about it this way: the whole series has been like a slow escalation, right? Basically, like you start out at the beginning, you've got gem monsters, then you've got the one homeworld chip that shows up, then you got Yellow Diamond who shows up, then you got Yellow and Blue Diamond who show up, and then you got White Diamond. And so the next logical progression is who's above White Diamond? Well, whoever created the gem.
So that's why I'm thinking it's not that, because like I said, if you look at Steven Universe, it's like basically perfectly plotted on a line graph of like, have you ever seen that graph of like storytelling where like it just like has like dips, but it slowly goes up over time? I feel like that's what Steven Universe is. Like, it started out like the entire season. First season, you have like 2 big events that happen in the entire season. And then season 2, more big events happen. Season 3, even more. Until like in season 5, you basically nonstop things happening with like little breaks in between until Change Your Mind, the epic ending. Which is why I think that this is sort of like a resetting almost. Like, because I don't think it can get any more intense than it already has. If it goes any further, then it literally will be non-stop action. Because, like, that's, what else could they do? I don't think there is anything else. I don't think there is, like, a big villain.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's, like, a big villain right there in front of you.
I don't think there is, though. I think that's...
It's just because they haven't been introduced yet. Like, most of the villains aren't introduced until, 5 minutes until they're relevant.
That's not true. That's not true at all. That's the thing. Because, like, we've had, like, ever since the Great Diamond Authority was a concept that existed, we essentially knew that White Diamond, or whoever was at the top, was a thing and going to be a thing eventually. But like with this, we don't have anything else beyond that, other than like.
Well, we have the fact that they exist at all.
Yeah, but I don't feel like that's enough to go by, for like I don't know.
You don't think like a search for the origin could be a whole season? I
mean, it could be, but then we're going into the vein of stuff that I don't think would make sense for Steven Universe.
Okay, well, I don't know I don't even know what you would mean by that, but
I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I don't think they can like escalate it any further. In my opinion, I think they've gone basically as far as they can go, and now they've got to sort of like reset the sort of intensity scale a little bit to like go on with new things. If there's going to be an entire 6th season.
I mean, okay.
You know.
It seems like... is there also like a 7th and 8th season confirmed or something?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't want to make the assumption that this is like the reset and now there's going to be a whole new there's going to be a whole new Stephen Ball Z. Like, you know, because like...
That's sort of the way I'm looking at it, though.
Well, it's like...
I can't imagine... I just don't think they can go with anywhere else with, like, the original series, basically.
I don't know. They could just make season 6 the wrap-up season.
They could do that. That could be
just wrap up all the loose ends.
Yeah, you know. I guess they could do that, you know, wrap up everything with Jasper, wrap up, like, some of the stuff with New Home... or Little Homeworld. And, you know, do some of that stuff, I guess. That would be... kind of a weird thing to stretch over an entire season, though.
Got a lot of loose ends.
I guess so.
Plus, they got all, you know, they could just fill the rest in with towny stuff.
Maybe. Alright, so what do you say we make a bet right now, then?
Alright.
I bet Steven Universe Z. I bet, like, sort of, not necessarily, like, obviously it's got all the same characters before, but, like, it's a new beginning for the show.
Okay.
And you're going to bet that it's like they're going even further beyond.
Okay. Sure. Whatever.
Those are our predictions for the future of Steven Universe. And I think that about wraps it up for the Steven Universe movie podcast. What a fun movie, though.
Yep. A good movie. Go see it in theaters.
I wish it was
near
in theaters.
you.
I'd go see it in theaters.
Good work. Remember to change your mind, I guess. Also, you remember that if you ever have a problem, just become friends with your problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then you have a friendly problem. Okay, bye.
Okay. I think that's it. Goodbye. Thanks for listening.